Yes. Marine Corps birthday, November 10th, 2004. Couldn't forget that day, of course. So, it was, we were just on the attack. Just, we knew exactly where we were going. We knew exactly what we were doing. We were just on the attack. We're doing good because we're moving, we're covering ground. We really haven't lost anybody yet. So we're very confident. As a matter of fact, this is where we actually we never felt invincible, but we felt like a well-oiled machine. And we actually thought that, yeah, we're going to get away unscathed because we're just moving. We're hitting our objectives, timely manner. We're just getting it done. And we're confident now. We're moving. And then, it had to happen, and it did. And, I just remember one of my, we held up waiting for the rest of our unit to come online. We held up in a house, and we started taking sniper fire.
Hey,
one of
the
squad leaders, second squad leader, he did anything a Marine would do, take the initiative, and he just took off to go ahead and flank that position where we're getting the sniper fire from. And he took off, and like 5 minutes after, we heard just like, you could hear it, just AKs, this gun just like a kill house, just like guns going off. A typical firefight, because we, at that point we've been through a couple at a time. Then we get a call saying we got Marines down. We need to come help. So me, I'm not thinking about anything. My natural reaction is to let's go. You're not gonna think, because split seconds are an eternity, and people get killed in that time frame. So I pick, at the time my squad was a little bit slow to react. I took off when I heard Marines down, the first response was to grab my corpsman, because he needs to be with me to go help them. We take off running, me not really assessing the situation, because I'm just trying to get to the Marines that, I'm going to where the gunshots were coming from. I'm listening where the screams were coming from, and we started taking fire, and natural reaction was just to return fire and try to head for cover as quick as I could with my corpsman. I'm dragging my corpsman with me, shooting at the same time, and we made it over the wall. I had to dive over a wall just to make it in time, and we made it, didn't get hit, whatever. And it was just, I went over there, and the first thing I saw was just like two of my friends just laid up, just crying, just blood everywhere. Just blood everywhere, and I was like, oh. And my natural reaction was I patch him up, and I tried to assess the situation, what's going on, but it was like, whatever happened, for some strange reason, the squad just got split up all over the place. And I heard one of my Marines on the second deck screaming. He was in bad, sounded like it. I never saw him until the whole thing was over, and he was in pretty bad shape. And my squad eventually came. They came in time, and I was like, all right, let's go. As soon as my initial response, we kind of lost comm with what was going on. There were radios, freaks couldn't get through the buildings or whatever, and totally, I knew that there was a Marine on it. I knew that Pickering was on that second deck, and we were gonna get him. And so I stacked my Marines on the wall and was like, go! As soon as we took off, these guys were just waiting for us, and they just started going to town on us. Rounds flying everywhere, and the stack broke, and everything just went bad right there, because they already had the upper hand, because they were barricaded upstairs, and it was like, shooting fish in a barrel. They're shooting at us, and so we just did what we had to do. Squad got broke up, everything started going bad. We lost comm, it was not good. There's two Marines laid up, bleeding out, bleeding to death, and I'm like, ouch. So I'm like, we're just trying to get to Pickering. At this point now, I know that it's gonna be pretty rough. I realized that Pickering was at their mercy, because he got cut off and he was upstairs, but he was still crying out for help. And I heard him just moaning up there, and then after a while I heard a single shot, and then I didn't hear him again. And after two more attempts trying to get up the stairs, we lost two more Marines, and I'm like, it's done, we just can't get up the stairs. And I told my lieutenant that we just can't get up the stairs, we need to evac and destroy the house with the insurgents and get out, cut our losses, and go back for the bodies. Because at that point, I kind of figured that Pickering was dead. Because we were talking. I was like, "You all right, Pick?" And he's like, you could hear him, moaning. And after a while, I just didn't hear anything. I heard that shot, and I clicked in my head that they took him out. Pick's gone. And we tried going up there twice, and 2 more Marines got capped. So I'm like, nah. I made a judgment call and told my lieutenant, I was like, "Sir, let's get out of here and do what we have to do with this house. We'll come back and get the body because we're not going to leave the body." And in that attempt, now what happened was the squad got split. They cut off all escape routes through that house. It was a pretty huge house. It was like a posh house, not a nice little mansion. Cut off all the avenues of approach and every way you could escape. The only way out was to punch a hole through a wall we were in, a room we were in, just find a way to punch a hole through that wall. We didn't have the equipment with us, or if we did have the equipment, we couldn't use it because it was demo. We couldn't we couldn't explode any demo in the house because we have 2 Marines laid up and they're bleeding out. So there was these dozers called D9s. The Israelis use them, and we had them with us. And I could see him, and I told him to I couldn't talk to him, but I could see him, and I went like this. Because that's like the universal hand arm signal to punch a hole or break this wall down. And he was like, I remember him going like this. Like, give me a thumbs up. And that was like, oh yeah, we're good now. My brilliant idea. And one of my Marines got hit. And one of my other Marines, a saw gunner, that's one of our machine gunners, he came out and he started engaging the insurgents because they were using that to they were gonna pick him off. And I remember Corporal Kane going out there and started lighting him up. And at the time, a grenade came, they were upstairs, and there was just no way you're gonna win if they're upstairs. That's just the reality of it. Urban warfare, you're gonna lose. Threw the grenade, they started throwing grenades downstairs, we started throwing it back upstairs, and it was just rolling back down, the grenades were going off, people were just trying to hide from shrapnel, and here comes the dozer. Dozer hits the wall, and as soon as I look up, Corporal Kane is stuck between the hatch, shooting still, but he doesn't realize that that deck is gonna just collapse on them. That house is gonna fall on top of us. And the dozer dude just doing his thing, just busting a hole through the wall. The house just caves in. And at that point I saw the beam, the top beam, it was gonna fall. I could see it, and I reached over, but Kane was just shooting at them, and they were shooting at us. And as soon as I grabbed his flak and I tried to pull him, he went like this, and the beam just came down and just snapped him. And he was snapped between the beam. And his femur was just caught, and they were still shooting, and I had no choice but to go down there. I thought I was gonna get shot in the head because it was a doorway, and I just had to go down there and get him. Tried pulling him, and I pulled him so hard that his femur just came out. His femur bone just came out through his legs, and there was just blood everywhere and screaming. On top of the other 3 Marines back there screaming, and everything was just not going good. It was absolutely the worst day of my life. And I had to give him morphine once. He asked for more, it wasn't working. I gave him twice. He asked for more morphine, and I just couldn't give him any more morphine because we're trained, just don't give him any more than 2, or it's gonna slow his heart rate down, he's gonna die. And I said, all right, Kane, I just can't give you any more. You're just gonna have to suck it up. And he sucked it up, but he was just bleeding. There was just blood everywhere. So there was a hole there was a hole though. I mean, the idea kind of worked, but kind of had repercussions. The hole was there, so we rolled him up in a poncho and we dragged him out. We dragged all the other Marines out, and we just went to town on the house. And we went back and we dug up the body, and we found Pickering. And it was just, when you thought it was over, it wasn't even over. As soon as we dug the body up, we started digging for the body. We started taking more sniper fire and machine gun fire from right across the other way. So I had to run across the road to suppress that house with 4 of my Marines in order for our small gunners, these are the guys who fire rockets, to take that building out. So we were basically in the middle of the street shooting at them, and they're shooting at us, and we're just hoping not to get shot. Rounds ricocheting all over us. At that point, you don't care, because you already saw half of your squad got wiped out. And we took the building out, and at that point there was definitely a no in the firefight because we had taken way too many casualties from 1 platoon, so they had to hold up. And that's where I just sat on the wall and just started thinking what do we do next? And I was there. It seemed like an eternity. It seemed like everything just went in slow motion. I remember them taking the bodies out, throwing it in the back of the truck, and it was just slow motion. Just at that point, I was just sitting there, just. And I even I did the same thing I told you. Why are you taking your Kevlar off? Would you do that in a combat zone? And I remember taking my Kevlar off and going like this. I had my Kevlar off in the middle of a combat zone. I just took it off, and I was like, I can't believe that just happened to us. And I remember Corporal Moore saying, I can't believe we just got destroyed by 2 insurgents in a house with a machine gun and a sniper rifle, a Marine Corps rifle squad, a goddamn Marine Corps rifle squad. That happened to us. And he was, our pride was damaged badly. That wasn't supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. And Moore took that to his grave with him. Because Moore eventually got killed too. So that was, and it even got worse, but I prefer to stop here.
That's fine.
So.